Very nice rally today off of some initial morning new lows, lower than the overnight session. And then it's been institutionals running pump jobs all day long as they run fully automated. They buy baskets of stocks. They're in zero DTE and regular options trades and futures. Just literally, they've been pumping it all day long. And then now we obviously have some distribution probably taking place and some consolidation maybe before a move in the end part of the day higher. We'll see, or we roll over back into the prior range. We were one and done right out of the open with mom signals. Mom is short for momentum. These are momentum burst trades. We trade fully automated with the Algo IQ program. So let's go take a quick look at that. And I have a whole bunch of charts to show you today. Some of it's stuff I've covered in the past, some of it's brand new. So real quick, let's go look at how easy the open was today, fully automated with the mom signal strategy. That's one of the core parts of our Algo IQ program. So let's go, I'll kind of like blow up the chart and we'll take a look at that. So 8:30 US Central Time. I have a 2-minute window where I don't take trade activity. In the automated strategy, that's the way I run it. I skip the first 2 minutes on a day where there's like no news. If it's a day where there's a news release, what I'll do, I pretty much always turn on the strategy at 8:32 US Central Time or Chicago Globex time. Sometimes, though, if I'm trading a 7:30 in the morning news release, that's something more prominent, then I'll turn on the strategy to come on 3 minutes later. So let's say CPI news hits at 7:30 Chicago time or Globex time. Then, there'll be the initial reaction that plays out for about 3 minutes at 7:33 a.m. And I teach all of this in our very structured but very streamlined training process. I teach all this stuff, plus give settings and everything to get you up and running right away to use the automation. So at 7:33, the automation will look for trade activity and then go from there. Today, we were one and done. So 7:32, the automated strategy is looking for trades. We had a mom signal momentum burst trade to the downside. And this is a very unique price pattern that I've built 3 tools in 2.5 years to try to entrap these patterns of activity. And this indicator, the AIQ1 indicator that formulates these, nailed it. And we were in and it just ripped immediately in our intended direction. Now, myself, since I was already in a trade and it was running deep in the money, what I did is I elected then to take the strategy and what I do is I keep it in the short mode, or I can turn it off. Meaning I don't want it to take any long trades. I just want it to stay short because I was already over daily goal. We did get some lift. At that point, the stop automated had already moved to break even plus, and we got one more leg down. So that was a good trade. Now, if I just would have left it completely alone, it would have gotten long, then it would have gotten short, and then it would have made enough to extend the gains from the initial move. So once I saw that big rip, I just went and I clicked the button for short only mode, meaning I don't want to take any longs. And then all I was focused on was my P&L at that point for that particular account where I was running the mom strat. So I go for 700 a day daily goal on any 150K account. So you trade on the NT8 platform. You have the mom strat set up. You can even in the settings set, hey, at $705, blip me out of the trade. So it was running. You hit $705, automation shuts down, you're done for the day. So in the automation, we have those settings. We have time window settings. We have daily profit target, max daily loss. All that stuff is built in. Position size and so on. So there's everything you would ever need in a really straightforward automated strategy is in the strategy. And at the Grid Algo YouTube channel, if you click on the video tabs, I have tons of videos of me running the automation out of the US Session Open, especially in the last 3-4 weeks. I've just been on purpose shooting as many videos as I can because I get kind of the same questions over and over again from people inquiring. So I want to make sure I cover that so they understand. So anyhow, we were one and done. Some of the traders were working some of these lows with some of the other ways that we use the tools. So now let's go look at some other charts that I just kind of want to show you. One is what I call the scalp dots chart. There was a pretty good looking pattern off this area. And a matter of fact, here's my what I call my left-hand chart. And I'm running it, just playing around with different candlestick types. I got Ninja Renko up there. So here this morning, using this type of Renko, which is, a little more asymmetrical in nature, we had that initial pivot low after breaking through, recent, pre-market or after-hour session lows. We came down, but what I really liked is, yes, we got the excursion outside of the bands. And when I see dots like that, I could literally just get in and throw on a long trade, put a stop right there and see what happens. And it lifted right away, cycled a bit, and then, ran. So that's fine, using a scalp dots in a market that's had an extreme. There was one here, a little after the U.S. cash session open. There was dots. It lifts. If you get counter dots, then just bail. So no harm, no fall on that trade. You get a little bit, come down, sweep those previous levels or that previous level again. Then buyers start coming in and supporting that area price. But what I really liked, and I traded it super light because I was already up on the day in this account. I was already over 700 and I just put on a very light trade. But what I liked was right here. And in my training, I talk about price patterns. Excursion outside of the bands, hey, great. But then we had lift and then we came down, up, down, up. So here's the low. Now the market is stair-stepping higher and we had a W pattern and lift. We had some scalp dots. It says lifting. I just threw on 2 lots. It ran a little bit, blipped them out just to finish the day, a little over, into the 800 range. Not my typical, get to 700 and down. That was just, to me, a beautiful setup. Now, for those of you that are really into trend following, another good use of our super bands indicator, which this is the 7th version of these bands type. This one has all new math and all new programming style than any prior one, and it's way more responsive and way more accurate. But for those of you that like the following, scalping alignment with the trend, when the bands are up, have at it. Scalp away. Scalp away. Pull back below the mid band in an established trend, scalp away. Even in here, you had some shots where the market just kept stair-stepping higher, stair-stepping higher. But the mid-band area, the main bands, you're getting pullback, lift, pullback, lift, pullback. That's the pure sign of institutional activity, working it like there's no tomorrow. They are pumping liquidity in the market, and they buy stocks, options, and futures all in concert, all automated. And that's called buy program activity. And there's days where they sell it off and that's sell program activity. But institutionals, I'm sure, ran this down by design this morning, knowing they were going to be buyers. Then Powell spoke, whatever he spoke, that just, they utilize that to support the overall agenda on the day. And we come up and pretty much, negate almost the entire move from the Trump tweet going forward at the high. So this might just get parked into end of day, but what a spectacular day that was. Now, I was super busy. I got all kinds of programming projects, and I'm going back and forth testing stuff that the programmer's been kicking to me all day. So when I get in that mode, I just stop trading so I don't get distracted. So anyhow, I did over daily goal on master accounts that talk out to follower accounts on using trade copier. I'm a fan of affordable indicators, and I'm a big fan of trade syncer, depending, what's your master account and what follower accounts at what firms are you talking out trade activity to? And then one more chart, I'll show you the scalp dots chart, get lots of emails on it. So let's go take a look. So there we go. There's the scalp dots chart. There was that M pattern and rollover. I was in automated that day in here, and then, I don't know, a minute or two or three later, I don't know what it was, the Trump tweet hit on China and down we went. Since then, we've been selling down. Now, here was the morning action. We came down and we traded just below the lower main bands, had a bit of a bounce, pretty decent bounce, and then came down, and there's that low of the session, and then it was all institutionals all day long. Matter of fact, look at the AIQ1 indicator, how green it is for that mode, and then there we go, ascending pivots, just below the midband, pullback, scalp dot, long scalp, pullback, scalp dot, long scalp, pullback, scalp dot, long, and so on. Once I see the market at or above the midband, I don't touch it for doing, that kind of trend following, long scalps. I like stuff that's below the midband, and then we've kind of junked out here at the end of the day, where I'm sure there's, a fair amount of selling going on those that are deep in the money taking profits, but institutionals are choosing to hold it up. And you never know, have you seen those days we get right into the last 5 minutes or so and they just squeeze everybody right out to go clean out the prior high. So that might be the game in town. If they don't do it now, don't be surprised to see the overnight session get juiced to go up and take out that high. So we'll see. Would not be surprised. That high, that all-time high is like a magnet right now after such a move that we had today. So anyhow, scalp dots trade, this is all about, visually efficient trading. I'm showing you different ways in which you can trade manually, or you can use third-party tools. You could have a third-party tool that says, hey, if I get a scalp dot below the lower band, put on a buy, put a stop here, stay in the trade until I hit, break even, any sort of push in your intended direction that's, beyond 1-to-1, can have your stop move to break even plus in your third-party tool. And if you get a counter scalp dot, let go of the trade. Came down again, your automation gets in a scalp dot trade, and then that one goes and goes and goes and goes. And you didn't get a scalp dot short until, well over an hour later. So, these are all the possibilities because all of our tools in the Algo IQ program have outputs that can be tied to third-party tools to go build your own custom automation. So there you have it. NT8 automated mom signals. We are one and done today, right out of the open. Boom, done. Fully automated. Can't find a better way to trade accounts than with precision signals tied to automation that have cut and dry parameters and structured bracketed trade management, not only for the beginning portion of the trade when your trade gets deployed and instantaneously your stops and targets, but the ability in our automation to have break-even stop mechanism and a trail mechanism. That's all in our mom signal strategy. And I've covered that in many other videos over the past few weeks. So as I was mentioning, there's tons of videos on me trading fully automated, like 1 day, 2 days in a row, out of the open. And it's real easy. Grid Algo YouTube channel, go to the videos tab. Then that puts every video in the exact order from most recent to ones in the past, stacked vertically. So anyhow, and matter of fact, I even have a video in here where I cover the right way to trade on your master accounts through a copier out to your many prop firms and your many follower accounts. So anyhow, if you have any questions for me directly, related to the systems and so on, info@gridalgo.com, and then algo-iq.com is the website to check out more details and info on the Algo IQ program itself and how to get access. So there you have it. If you have any questions, let us know. Have a fantastic trade day. and we'll see what these markets give us tomorrow.